Hello, class. I don't know if you ever watched the Netflix show How to Change a Mind, and it's okay if you haven't. It's about psychedelics, and this article is about psychedelics. And well, right now, psychedelics are not being used at all for anything medical, and they're considered like to be completely illegal. Although there is a small bit of research going on with them. So it's interesting to see how these drugs will progress in the future, because right now it's considered to have no medical usage for them. But you can see that cannabis, for instance, has been is being used for both medical and recreational use, and there are certain cases here where it looks like some of the psychedelic compounds do have uh, medicinal pharmaceutical use. And this article specifically is looking to stimulate neuronal growth. So the neurons, those are nerve cells. So the idea here is they're looking into it, and it looks like that the psychedelics might be able to use for something. So, and interesting. So, classic psychedelics like psilocybin and LSD. LSD is lysergic acid diethylamide, and they bind to the 5-hydroxytryptamine receptor. So, one thing when we do pharmaceuticals, they're like honestly, we do not know a lot about this. I mean, this is something that when it comes to our understanding of how drugs work when they enter the body is very very low. So I guess it depends on the drug. Some antibiotics we understand pretty well. We understand pretty well how the penicillins and amoxicillins work. We understand how sulfonamide antibacterials work. But take something like ibuprofen. So ibuprofen, for instance, is a COX-1 and COX-2 inhibitor. And what does that mean? Well, COX-1 deals with your stomach and kidneys. COX-2 is part of your inflammatory response. And basically, ibuprofen works by doing the Jedi mind trick on your cells, on your body, right? So if you sprain your knee and your knee swells and you take ibuprofen, the ibuprofen inhibits the COX-2 inhibitor or the COX-2 process, saying there is no injury, there is no need to swell up. So then your body doesn't swell as much. So that is pretty much the level of our understanding how ibuprofen works. So if you read this and you look at some of these receptors and they're talking about things, and they don't talk too much about pathways here. I mean, it's something that we don't have a very strong understanding. We don't even really understand when it comes to things like we don't really understand what it means to be drunk, for instance. I mean, something is simple. I don't know if you call it simple biochemically. It is moderately complex, but alcohol is a simple molecule. We don't really understand what it means to be drunk. It seems like it's similar to being very, 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 very tired. And it's not just that, there are other things too. Memory can be affected with alcohol use as well. So, I mean, what I'm saying here is that there are many things that go on with our bodies, and this is something that we just don't really understand. And our research methods are kind of rudimentary in this, right? I mean, so in treatment and seeing if this works. I mean, we're getting better, but it's still something we don't really understand very, very well. And I'm not advocating psychedelic use, so I'm certainly not going to stop you. I mean, what can I do to stop you, especially, but it's interesting though that they're looking into this. I mean, that would be nice if these compounds in various dosages, I mean, could be used to regenerate neurons. That's amazing, right? This is amazing stuff. And one thing specifically that caught me is that many of these things, the ones that get across the intercellular space, are nonpolar. So serotonin is polar, which means it's water soluble. These other these these other compounds are nonpolar, which means they can get into the access to the intercellular space. But some problems with that is it means your body will store it. So that's as the chemist in me says, your body will store it, and then this also, when it comes to dosage and delivery and these types of things, this is a consideration to make, because it really just depends, and we don't know what's going to happen if you keep on taking these compounds, what it's gonna do. But mind you, there are other drugs that we do this intentionally. Azithromycin, the antibiotic, the manner in which it is excreted is through the bile, and fecal matter is the excretion pathway for that. But if you look at the absorption and the levels of azithromycin in your system as it goes through, it actually starts out small, and then that gets higher, and then it tapers off slowly. So it's interesting, when it comes to drugs and what happens in the human body and what they do. And this one caught my eye because it's it's controversial because it's a psychedelic. And at least here in the United States, psychedelics are not considered to be useful in any way, shape, or form. So, but we're pushing the edges there, finally, to see if these compounds, do have benefit. And here is one way that they could have benefit, and specifically growing the neurons connections between them. So hope you enjoyed the article, and as with all my messages, I hope you are doing extremely well. If you are not in that state and you need help with anything, you're not meeting your basic needs, you're having some mental health issues, if you're having academic issues in this class or other classes or other assorted issues, there's lots of academic issues that you can run into with this as a student, or registration, all that fun stuff. Please let me know, and I will do what I can to help you. So, all right, aloha for now. Goodbye.